Hey guys, I'm Ivory and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be taking a trip down memory lane. As many of you already know, I'm on a no-buy for the rest of the year. So I was going through my makeup collection and the one thing I kept saying over and over again was, oh my god, I used to love this. I never get to use this anymore. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to revisit my old makeup products that I used before I even had a channel or when I first started my channel to see if I still feel the same way, have I found something better, or maybe it's something that I need to reintroduce into my routine. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every single week, and also be sure to follow me on my social media. Everything is _ivorypcherry. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with primer first because back in the old days I always did my base first, and back then I always believed in primer, which as you know is not the case now. So I'm going in with the Smashbox Photo Finish. This one was my favorite for a long time. I've promoted it plenty of times on this channel, I believe. I still like the way it feels, but I actually just watched a video where someone said that silicone feeling or dimethicone feeling primers are not good for oily skin. And that's because these are like smoothing, blurring primers. And so the foundation going on top is going on a really smooth surface. And then when your oils mix in with the primer, it makes things extra slippery, so your makeup doesn't last as long. You guys already know I've kind of changed my position about primers, but I definitely see some logic in that theory. But for the sake of this video, I'm still using this. And then for foundation, I'm going in with the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir. I went back into my videos to see when I first introduced this foundation, and it was about a year ago, like in October around this time. I'm still using it to this day, and I love this foundation. If it was up to me, I definitely would have used the Maybelline Superstay in today's video for nostalgic reasons, but that bottle has been finished long ago. But after loving that foundation for so long and then trying this one, I actually prefer this one. The coverage is just as good as the Superstay, except this one has vitamins, antioxidants, and SPF, but I also feel like this has a little bit more luminosity to it. Not that much more, but a little bit more. So it's more versatile for all skin types. And for me, it's very common to have this crack in my foundation after a couple hours, but after 12 hours, this never cracks on me. So it's so good. And to blend my foundation, I'm actually gonna try a new brush for the first time. This is the Artiste brush. My friend Mary gave me this, and I never thought I would have this foundation brush because they are very expensive. But when I saw she was giving them up, I was like, ooh, I wanna try. My husband saw these come in the mail and he was like, they look like spoons. I'm like, yes, they do, honey. I can definitely feel the difference in the bristles. They are softer than all my brushes. I haven't looked up the price yet, but I'm kind of scared to. Okay, I want a little bit more coverage around my cheek area. I've been breaking out around this area quite a bit because I can't stop eating Halloween candy. Last year I got candy that I didn't like, but Steve liked, so that I wouldn't be tempted. But then we had so many children. So then this year I decided to get an even bigger bag of candy so that everyone gets like a good handful. And then I made the decision to get candy that I liked as well as Steve because I wanted to be the good house, the one that all the kids wanted to go to. But I can't stop eating the good candy, so by the time Halloween comes, which is in 2 days from when this video is made, they're probably gonna get bad candy anyways because I can't stop eating Kit Kat bars and Reese's peanut butter cups. Do you remember trick-or-treating? And then there was always that house that gave out like really gross candy or like raisins. If you do that, shame on you. I judge you. Okay, so for concealer, I actually have two that I really loved. So the first one is the Maybelline Age Rewind. This is in the shade Light, but I don't remember always getting the shade. Like I think I got Neutral or Neutralizer, I think was the name. And then the other one that I still preferred, but I never repurchased because it's so expensive, is the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm just gonna add a little bit because I really don't need a lot. I eventually wanted to do a video where I recreate my first look, but I feel like it's only been a year. Like it's not enough time to actually do that yet. Maybe 5 years or something. And then I'm gonna set my face with the Coty Airspun. Some things never change, and that's going all over the face. The one thing about their puff that I wish they changed is I wish it had like that strap so that it'd be easier to hold the puff. Okay, so after I would add powder to my face, I feel like there's a lot less than I used to have. Like before it was just like all powder, like you would think I had flour all over my face. While it was absorbing into my face, I would do my brows, and then by the time I would be done with my brows, I would wipe off the excess. I would either use an eyeshadow or I would use a bronzer that was way too dark for me. I do not have that bronzer anymore. I actually used it up, so I'm gonna use my eyeshadow palette instead. You know what? I'm gonna take my pencil real quick and I'm gonna swatch it on my hand so that I know which eyeshadow to use because I need a frame of reference. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go in with a mixture of this one right here and this one right here. I'm gonna apply the lighter one first at the front of my brows. I resisted using brow pencils for the longest time because I thought you were supposed to match your hair color or your eyebrow color. Either way, they're both black. And I figured, why would I waste money on a brow pencil that's black when when my eyeliner is black. So I tried to fill in my brows using just black. I think you already know how it went. It was horrible. So after that time, I was like, okay, I clearly shouldn't fill in my brows with a brow pencil. But now that I know better, I can actually use a brow pencil. But to be perfectly fair, if you don't want to use a brow pencil, I see no problem in using eyeshadow. Like if the color fits and it works, then what's the issue? Okay, and those are the brows. See, I don't think they look that bad, right? I'm also gonna go ahead and use the same palette for my eyeshadow. This one's from BH Cosmetics. It's called the Ultimate Neutrals palette. This was the first palette I ever bought with my own money. If you go back to either my first video or my second video, I'm reviewing this palette. So me and this palette, we go way back. Before I had this eyeshadow palette, however, I had another neutrals eyeshadow palette that my friend got me for Christmas. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued, but I'll try to find a picture and put it up if I can. Kind of the same color story. I believe it was by either Wet n Wild or e.l.f. I think e.l.f. actually. And it was the only one I was rocking for a long time. I hit pan on quite a few of the shades, but I had it for many years. And then when I started this channel, I was like, I want something new, something fresh. So I ended up getting the BH Cosmetics one to replace the e.l.f. one as kind of the improved version of that eyeshadow palette. This isn't a tutorial, by the way. Like, I don't know what the end look is gonna be like. I'm thinking orangey, but I'm gonna let my hands do what they will. This is one of the things I loved about doing makeup, like just sitting at my vanity. I know I'm not at my vanity, but this feels like it. The only difference is I'm talking to myself. I mean, I kind of did that too, even when I didn't have a channel. Did you guys ever do that? Like, I used to watch a bunch of videos and then I would sit down and like pretend I was a beauty guru before I even started this. And I'd be like, so I'm going in with my Fit Me loose setting powder. And then you would have to do some of this action right here. Focus, there you go, there, you can see it. And now I do it for real. So I figured since I'm just freehanding the eyeshadow portion, I might as well just kind of talk to you guys about something. I was gonna save this for another video, but I figured now is as good a time as ever. Anyone that's close to me or has been following me for a while knows that I left my job a while ago and I was really depressed. I have good days, I have bad days, but at this point, enough time has passed and the job that I thought I wanted to get into, there's always some type of roadblock as to why that job isn't attainable for me. I thought it would be easy to get into the field that I wanted to get into because it's still in the software department and I was a software engineer, but it's like a position adjacent to it, adjacent, parallel. Basically, I would still be within the software development team, but I would have a different role and responsibilities. And it just isn't happening to me and it sucks. And what also sucks is all the recruiters that want to offer me positions are always the job that I left. And I'm like, I don't want the same position that I used to have because I didn't like who I was working for. But at the same time, hold on, I can't work and talk at the same time. It's very hard. But at the same time, that's all that's on my resume. So it's not really their fault. So I have decided, and I went back and forth a lot on this decision, but I want to try and do the position that I quit one more time. And a lot of people have suggested that to me because I left essentially because I disagreed with my boss. I did not like my boss and she really ruined that position for me. And a lot of people have suggested like give the position one more shot and if you still don't like it, then at least you can say you gave it a fair try. And with that being said, the job opportunities, if I go back into it, have opened up tenfold. But I do feel like, you know, I'm a little bit rusty because I haven't been in practice and I might be losing my skill set. So I've been taking time every day to sit down and study and practice and get back into the swing of things. And because of that, I'm not gonna have as much time as I have now to film and to edit. I mean, I've already been kind of wishy-washy about my schedule. I try the best I can to do Wednesdays and Sundays. And if I can't get it out by Sunday, I try Monday. I know I'm not perfect, but I try to keep it at least within those 3 days. But because I really want to give this my all, I think I'm going to be cutting down to just once a week. I don't know what day. I don't think it matters. Everyone said that it doesn't matter what day I upload, just whenever I can is fine. The last time I asked you guys in a poll, so that really helps. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update on my life. I'm really nervous about this because I have a lot of reservations about the position of being a software engineer again, just because for a long time I felt like I wasn't good at it and it wasn't meant for me. But I'm just so ready to go back to work. You know, beggars can't be choosers. It's a job and who knows what's in store for me. I may find out that it was my employer that ruined that position for me and I do actually like being a developer. So who knows? So I'm going into this with a optimistic mindset. I've been really fortunate that I have a super supportive husband that just really wants me to be happy no matter what I'm doing. But I'm eager to finally get back out there. I feel like I have a good headspace right now. You know, for months I told myself, I think this is it. I clearly can't get a job and I thought it was gonna be easier and it's not. I may not ever find work again. And that was really depressing to think about. For months, I thought this was it. Like I might have to make it on YouTube or something because I have no other alternative. But now things are looking up. I'm hopeful, but I'm also realistic. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. It amazes me every single time how good this palette is for being so cheap. Like, why do I even waste my money on other palettes when this one just makes me so happy each and every time? All right, I gotta highlight the inner corner and the brow bone. And whenever I would use this palette, I always used these two shades as my inner corner highlight. I would pick either one of them or I would mix them. So today I'm mixing them. It didn't matter what look I was doing, I would always pick one of those. Okay, we're gonna move back into our base. For bronzer, I'm going in with the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I have not used this in months, but I have nothing but good memories of this bronzer. Yeah, it's like just this perfect shade. It matches me no matter how tan or how light I am. I would also use this color as eyeshadow if I was in a rush. And then I'm gonna take my beauty sponge and clean up the contour. And I also like to do it on the sides of the nose. And then I'm gonna move on to blush. Obviously, one of my favorites is the Milani Luminoso. However, my most used is actually this one right here. Like I hit pan. I clearly loved it. So I think I'm gonna use that today. This blush is from BH Cosmetics. It came in a kit. It's discontinued, but it was in a highlight, contour, and blush kit. I remember my friend, she was my coworker at the time. She had the palette and she's like, oh, try it and see if you like it. And I tried it and I was like, oh, I really like it. And she's like, oh yeah, keep it for your wedding and then you can give it back to me. So I did just that. And then after the wedding, I went to her cubicle and I was like, I want to keep it. And I made a huge stink about, oh, you already have so much makeup and you don't really need this. And I actually need this more than you need this. I'm not gonna lie, looking back, I was probably acting like a real baby about it. And she's like, all right, you can have it. So I got to keep it. But you know what? I ended up using it more than she ever would because she is a hoarder with makeup. Trying it again, I don't really like this blush. I think a part of it is because I used to be into a shiny blush when I wasn't using highlighter, but now I'm using highlighter. So I like matte blushes now. Also, this color is a little bit too bright, but trying it on again, I definitely, I don't miss it. And then I am gonna highlight on top of this. I didn't always do this on a day-to-day basis back in the day, but I still did use this product. This is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips. I think there's multiple shades. This one is Warm Nude. As you can see, it is incredibly beat up. I tried to depot it into my Z palette and it was unsuccessful. It was lifting and breaking and I was like, okay, this is expensive. I don't wanna have to buy another one of this. If you have self-control and you're like, I only wanna buy one highlighter for the rest of my life, this is it. I still recommend it. I know I haven't worn it yet, but I already know the answer. There's a frosty white shade, there's champagne shades, there's peachy shades, you can mix them, there's bronzy shades, copper shades. So for a lot of skin tones and for whatever mood you're feeling of highlighter, you can make this work. I wasn't super picky, so I would just go all around the highlighter. And like I said earlier, I wouldn't always use this to highlight, but I would still always use this because I always loved using this as eyeshadow actually. But you can see how much light they catch. You can keep building it up and it's gonna look beautiful. This is just a really good product. For mascara, my OG favorite is the L'Oreal Telescopic. Granted, I haven't used that in over a year, but I bought 2 bottles of it, which shows you how much I loved it. But I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Colossal Mascara instead. I wasn't gonna buy that mascara anyways, just for the sake of this video. And I'm on a no buy anyway, so that would be cheating. And I don't think the mascara would really matter because I'm gonna go in with falsies anyways. So for lashes, I'm using the Ardell Foam Ink Lashes. These are in the style 811. I didn't really have a favorite lash style when I first started wearing false lashes, but I know I always use Ardell. If my footage of me putting in my lashes seems weird, it's because I was on the phone. My friend called tonight so that we could work out, which I desperately need to do because I went to Olive Garden today and I need to burn it off. Steve worked from home today and he's like, let's go to Olive Garden for lunch. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea because I'm trying to lose weight. And he's like, it's all right. Sometimes it's good to make bad decisions. Well, it's easy for you to say that because you're skinny. But yeah, if my footage looks weird, it's because of that. Okay, so for lips, I'm using a brand that I don't promote on this channel anymore. And it's a shame because I actually really like this lipstick and I wore it all the time. And the reason why I still have it is because I'm not gonna throw away a perfectly good lipstick. But back in the day, before I had a bunch of lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, lip glosses, this was pretty much the only one that I would wear every single time I had to go out. It did not matter what eye look I was rocking, it would almost always be paired with this exact lip. And then lastly, I'm gonna set my face. I feel like they all essentially do the same thing, and I like to try out new things, so I don't have a holy grail. And then I'm gonna use my fan and use my sponge to melt this all in. Okay. That's definitely not as fun as the big fan. And this is the final look. I had a lot of fun digging through my old favorites. I would say as a whole, all of the products I still really like. There are a couple products though that I think I've kind of changed my mind on. One of them being the primer. I actually did a wear test where I had that same primer on one side of my face and then nothing on the other, and it didn't make a difference at all. So that primer makes everything initially apply really smooth, but as far as wear time, which is something that I'm more concerned about, it doesn't really do anything. Another thing is the eyebrows. I think they still look okay. I do prefer a pencil now that I've gotten used to it, but if you are in a pinch, I still think using eyeshadows works just fine for doing the brows. The only thing is you might not get the same wear time. The blush, not really my thing anymore. I'm more into the matte bronzers this time around. And the lipstick, it's still a good lipstick. I'm still gonna continue to use it. Like I said, I bought it years ago, so I'll use it up, but I'm definitely not gonna repurchase it. So that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to like this video and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.